Okay, so this is the state of play at the end of my game of Plancenoit in Wellington's victory. These markers here are just ammunition supply left from guns, so we got between 3 and 1 shots from guns here. There's a gun battery left uncrewed there by the French, and you can see that this is the Prussian line here, curving all the way up here. There's this was the original French held position with soft cover hedgerows, wood here, some buildings here, and the French also originally up here. The French withdrew themselves back here, and well, in fact they did withdraw here and here rather than being fought back so much. They're still holding on here, and they were intending to make a stand here and fall back here. The plan being that as the Prussians came further up, if in the rules for this, if they move past this point on map D, so not on map B, this one, but this, if they sort of move into this section, then some reinforcements get released from here and can be brought on. So the idea was that they would hold on up here, fall back here, and then those reinforcements would come on and assist them. However, I had to finish the game on, I actually finished it at 7:30. I should strictly have gone on till 8 p.m. That's 2 more turns, and then calculated the morale, the army morale level. But I could see that the French had definitely lost at that point, and they weren't in enough strength to create losses back on the Prussians to bring their army morale level down. So essentially, at the point where I finished it, the Prussians were on 25 army morale, and the French had gone down to 5, and at 8 p.m. they would have lost another 8 for all of their committed brigades. The Prussians would have lost another 12, but that would still have kept them with a bit of a cushion to fall back on, and the French would have been gone. It crumbled. And I just made a complete tactical blunder with the French. They set up here, and I instantly saw that the Prussians can whiz straight through the woods here and try to obtain their objectives. So I thought, okay, we'll send out a flanking force and or delaying force there. So I split the French like that. That wasn't so much a problem splitting them, but it's the fact that I decided to try and hold. And it's my usual thing is that I keep trying to sort of draw myself back when I enter a game and really study the victory conditions, the situation, and the possibility of movement and combat. Like how many losses could one possibly inflict, or how many could one absorb at most, and then work out the plan for each side according to that. But most often I just kind of like dive in with a rough idea of how that would be. Often it's because I'm learning the game, and I want to sort of get in quicker, but not and learn the system and then start thinking really about proper strategy and tactics. But in a way, it's no excuse, because I keep trying to bring myself back to do that, and I wish I had done here, because it's quite obvious that at the French army morale starting level, they're not going to be able to take that much damage before they crumble. So in effect, what it requires you to do is to withdraw immediately as the French. Now that is a bit counterintuitive, because after the woods and buildings line here, this is just a complete open space. So if the French withdraw, the Prussians are obviously not hindered. They could whiz right through, and you would think, especially with their greater mass of cavalry, they would just be able to round up that force and decimate it. But I think the French have no option but to let the Prussians through here so that the reinforcements can come on. So less of a fighting withdrawal, which was what I was doing, but more a kind of tactical withdrawal in the sense of setting a trap. So saying, okay, yeah, look, we're here, come and get us. Bang, here's our reserves hitting you. And then they might have had a chance. I haven't, because when the reserves come on, the French army morale increases and they have a chance. Even with that, though, I think it's going to be quite a tough fight for them. I think essentially what I should have done is just left a load of stragglers in the buildings and the woods, because they're harder to dislodge through, not stragglers, I mean skirmishers. I say stragglers because I started another game already which is using that, but that's a Hampton Newson game over there. That's a mini Gettysburg, which I'd like to do a video on after. I think it's very good, but oops, I'm having trouble with my monkey grip again here. Okay, so yeah, so lesson. Okay, hold this by hand. Lesson learned: if anyone does play this as the French, you have to stick a load of skirmishers, withdraw your main force, and somehow you're going to have to set up a defensive position to give you time to bring on the reinforcements. And even then, it's going to be a kind of I suppose the French should come back here. There's some terrain which they can use to their advantage here, and let the Prussians, that one of their objectives is to move units off there, let them start doing that, because you get even more reinforcements as well. So as the French should move back here, let the Prussians through here, and then bring on some more reinforcements, and then perhaps move them up. I don't know. It's an odd situation because the French have two lots of reinforcements come on, but they both only come on if the French are kind of in trouble. And so, you know, you've got to, in a way, put yourself in trouble to bring on the forces which you definitely need. There's just too many Prussians if the French try to hold as in this force, as I did try. There's too much time. This is my time record track. You can see I used up to 7:30. We were going to 9:30 from 4:30. So just over halfway, the French only lasted. But anyway, it's like I said at the starting recording of this video, it's a very exciting situation. And my next question is, after I've played around with a few other things, is whether to try this one again, or then I stop at this point, because I'm at that point where I've played all of the separate one map scenarios, and I could go on to the one or two map scenarios, I should say, and I could go on to the main game, the four mapper, which will obviously require some stamina. But anyway, yeah, so that's the end of Plancenoit. Please give me advice on pronunciation if you can. And there it goes. I enjoyed it a lot. And it was very swift, this one, swifter than the other two games, essentially because most of it the Prussians are coming on, and the French are withdrawing. So it's not a massive slug-a-thon. So it's more about manoeuvre, and so it's you're not sitting around spending a lot of time trying to set up great attacks. Well, you are as the Prussians, but they are really hampered because of all the terrain they have to move through. They haven't got through the woods here. They just had bust through the holding terrain here. So they just got through to the clear. Some units, well, some units have stepped into the clear terrain. These ones are all in buildings and or woods, because of course the French had cavalry around here, but they've had to pull them back. Yeah, so just starting to break out at this point. But the French, interestingly, also, they have some very weak units with only 3 strength points. Prussians are on 6 strength points. So not some French units are 5, but a lot of them, this defensive core here, are quite weak. The effectiveness rating's fine, movement's fine, but it's just they're not huge, so they were getting whittled down very quickly. So enough of my wittering, onwards to the next one.